Let's get into it. Coach Colin here. What's going on, guys? We have an episode for you. Candace went ahead. I've made episodes about these things, but she went ahead and made a list. She made a graphic of a list of all of the inconsistencies that have come from members of Turning Point. She said she was going to breathe fire. She said she wanted war. You can't... It's like, a lot of people say things like that and you're like, well, they're just talking. When she says stuff like that, she's like, oh, no, I'm putting on a breastplate and I have a shield here and I have an Excalibur sword. No. We're meeting in the middle of the field. This is war. This is what we're doing. Like, she's not playing around at all. She's just putting on one of those old school military hats. She's like, what do you mean? I dug out this foxhole. I said we're going to war. I mean, are you guys not ready? It's crazy. It's wild. And I love it. I'm there for it. And I have a few lies to contribute to the list as well, because why not? And then after that, something I just stumbled upon as I was getting ready to do this episode, and it's Tim Pool. I never covered Tim Pool. I just found it so interesting what he was saying about Candace, about what's happened to Charlie, and about where it's put everybody right now, how it's kind of scattered everybody, what's happened to Charlie Kirk. And I do agree with that. But I think what he's saying is the perfect example of what Candace has been talking about. But wait until the end for that. We're going to start with the Candace stuff, then we'll jump over to Tim after. Let's go. What's wrong with my mouse? There it is.
I don't care about anything right now. Anyways, point being is we were telling the truth, and we have been facing so much peer pressure, so much nastiness for just trying to get out the true narrative about where Charlie's headspace was at before he died. And my favorite part of all of this now is watching them lose. The people who tried with all of the money in the world to artificially direct the markets toward them after Charlie died are losing, okay? The people who sold T-shirts, who got on stage and said they were Charlie's favorite pastor, America's pastor, I'm going to take over for Charlie. People who use their connections, their wealth to get themselves almost invited to be a part of Charlie Kirk's legacy. People that didn't even support Charlie Kirk while he was alive. The people who rushed to lie about me and Charlie's relationship, as close as we were. You guys are losing. I want you to know that, because turns out the market is smarter than you are. I go back to that Taylor Lorenz tweet early on. She's a hardcore lefty, yet in the immediate aftermath of Charlie's death, she said, it's wild that Candace is the only right-wing figure that I've seen posting in a way where she seems genuinely devastated to have lost Charlie as a friend. Why did she tweet that? Well, I have an answer for that now, Taylor, now that I'm seeing straight, because it's becoming very clear to me that Charlie was a product to everybody else. He was not a human being. He was a product that they felt that they had manufactured. That is my honest opinion, and I am entitled to that opinion, okay? And not only did they think that they had manufactured him, they felt that he was now malfunctioning. He was malfunctioning. And we're not going to let this go. We are not going to stop speaking about this topic, because I sense that we are getting very close, because they are very angry. And we should recap very quickly the verifiable lies that we have thus far been told by Turning Point USA themselves, which apparently they're trying to say it's off limits. So now you can't call out all these lies that Turning Point USA has told you. This is what they're trying to struggle session us into, because Erika Kirk is now the CEO, so they're off limits. So they're allowed to lie. No, that's ridiculous. We will not be following that. Here's our list, and this is by no means definitive, okay? Just so getting this together briefly. They told us these lies. The amazing, heroic, magnificent Mikey McCoy had blood all over him. That's a lie, told by Pastor Rob McCoy. Charlie was a committed evangelical who only liked Catholic architecture. That's a lie, told and reinforced by Alex Clark and Andrew Colvett.
I know, way too close to the camera, but you have to understand, I have a Patreon now, so consider subscribing to the Patreon. As you know, sometimes we get attacked by bigger accounts and it puts this channel in jeopardy. On Patreon, I'll be able to talk about things that I can't talk about here, and you'll have more of a link to me, just in case, because like I said, they're going to figure out this whole Philadelphia thing that I've been rolling with the past few weeks. And if they do, you'll find me over there. Link in the description.
Lie number 3 is that Charlie's neck stopped a 30-06 bullet because Charlie ate salad, he had strong bones, it was a modern-day Christian miracle. That's a lie. The offender is Andrew Colvett. Another lie. Charlie never blinked in his support for
Philadelphia.
Israel. Offender Josh Hammer, Bibi Netanyahu, insert
Philadelphiast
here, many Christian Zionist influencers as well. That turned out to be a big lie, an unnecessary lie. Lie number 5, the magnificent Mikey McCoy called his dad first. That's a lie. Rob McCoy told that lie. Number 6 is Terrell, the AV guy, was told to remove the cameras by police. That's not true. I have every second of his moves. That offender would be Tyler Boyer, okay? He lied. Number 7, Terrell moved the SD cards because people were stealing hats. Question mark, Andrew Colvett, what if you were scared about people stealing? Maybe remove the cameras? Very expensive cameras would be the thing that they would steal. What are they going to do with your SD card? They're going to resell that? Like, that doesn't make sense. Those are pretty cheap, right? Lie number 8, Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk never had any bad blood between them. The offender there was Alex Clark. Ben Shapiro was on her show, and I don't know why she tried that little bit of propaganda when she knew that wasn't factually true. 9, Charlie established Doge, and that wasn't unusual. Turning Point financially audits the company every year since its inception. Lie. Doge was entirely different from the apparatus of financially auditing yourself, which is recommended and actually in some states required for a company that size. That's 501c3. And 10, like I said, this is by no means a definitive list. Mikey McCoy was a hero that day. Now, you could say that's subjective, but I feel like that, like, objectively, to be a hero, you can't just make quick phone calls. I don't know. I not include 911 in that list. So I'm going to put that on our list of lies.
Man, she's like, what was his name back in the day? Maury Povich. And the lie detector comes back, and that was a lie. Mikey had blood all over him. That's what you said. We're going to find out right here. The lie detector says that was a lie. Rob McCoy starts... Do you remember how Maury used to work? They'd start running down the hall. Rob McCoy's running down the hall. He turns. He gets to the exit door. He's on the ground crying. The camera guy's just running after him the whole time. Oh, that's how my mind works. It works in pictures, man. And that was a lie. And Mikey McCoy was a hero, and that was a lie. Mikey's just sprinting down the hallway. Or it's Mikey, so he's just walking. He just walks down the hallway. He's like, absolutely hilarious. People in the crowd just going nuts. New York crowd just going nuts, you know? Oh, Maury, man. Back in the day, you'd skip school and watch Maury. Oh, man, it was the best. It was the best show ever. In the results of your 12 kids from this one person, it turns out he is not the father. The guy would just do backflips. He'd be like, It was such a crazy show, man. Anyway, got off topic there. She added in the Mikey blood one. I didn't realize that she had that there. That was one of them that I was going to add. Also, recently I did an episode, Frank Turek being covered in blood. I mean, according, and this is just me saying, from Rob McCoy's saying this, and he said it in the same breath as Mikey. I'm surprised she didn't bring that up. He said it in the same breath when he was talking about Mikey. He said Frank McCoy wasn't involved in anything. He had blood all over him, trying to do CPR. And Frank also has that story. But then the eyewitness who was at the hospital, I just did an episode on this. The eyewitness who was at the hospital saw him get out of the trunk and said he just had a white t-shirt on. Like, believe me, if you're an eyewitness and you see someone jump out of a truck, I already talked about this, but if you see someone jump out the back trunk of a car and they have a white t-shirt that is just doused in red, you'd probably mention that. The person gave no mention of that. So That was one that I added. And then the one she forgot to add was from Eric Bowling, who suggested that she hadn't been seen or spoke to Charlie since 2015, that she had done no turning point interactions whatsoever, wasn't around Charlie. There was a quiet divorce, as he put it, and that had been going on since 2015. Everybody debunked that right away because she was on tour 2024, and I guess it's not a lot. It's not really it's an inconsistency, but the EMTs, even with Frank's story of there being, not saying he's a terrible person or anything, but to say we were trying, because I saw a video, people have been sending me video clips of his side of things, but he's like, oh, we were just trying to stop that bleeding so bad. It's like, there was an EMT who went like this with a trauma bag, and you guys left. You didn't take the trauma bag. Everything that you needed to stop his bleeding was there, or at least give you a fighting chance to do something. And again, I have to bring this up. I talked about this with my friend already when we were on the phone, and I was saying to him, I'm like, if you're in the trunk of a SUV, a 7-seater, whatever, 6, but there's rows of seats, and someone is in that row, and you're in the trunk, for you to do CPR on that person as a normal sized person, and Frank's not the tallest guy in the world, he wasn't the size of Charlie or anything, but for you to try and lean over and perform CPR, kind of impossible. How would you do that? You'd have to jump over. And if you jumped over, you'd be instantly covered in blood. And again, going back to the eyewitness, it's not really what was said. But that's what I would add to it. I mean, Candace is, she's going hard. She's going hard in regards to this. And I'll say this again for anybody who didn't hear it the first time. I think everybody, even including her, would love to be able to rally around these guys and be like, Charlie's legacy is in secure hands. I really do feel like that's what everybody would want. They would want to see all of them step up the way that Charlie did, start being able to handle open debate like Charlie did. People would love to see that. Speak openly about faith like Charlie did. But we're just not seeing that from them. And, give it time also. Despite everything that Candace just said and I just said, you could be very charitable and say they're still grieving, so it's going to take time for that process to happen. You want to be charitable, but people just aren't able to rally around these guys. There's just too many inconsistencies with what they got going on. Ah, man, it's sad. It's really sad. But she made a whole list. Who's that? Tim Van Brookhaven from Europe just signed up to the Patreon. Oh, every time I get a ping, I'm going to let you know. We're having fun over there. We're saying what we want. I'm going to be doing an after show on this episode about what is here, where I don't have to be as charitable, quite honestly. Yeah, that's what Candace said today, because I'm putting out this episode right away. It's almost 4:00. I'm going to have it up by 4:30. And Candace says that there's going to be something big today. I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that's going to be, what that's going to look like, but she said it's something big. I don't know if she's talking about finances. Also, at least a dozen of you have told me about this guy, DDG. I believe that's his full name. It's like the DDG podcast. And everybody's been telling me about this interview he did with this financial guy. I am going to go through it and try and bring you what stands out to me as the biggest bits. And I don't know, either get the guy he was talking to on the show, maybe get him on the show. But apparently it really shows a different perspective in regards to the finances. And Candace also said she was going to start talking about the whole finances. She was going to talk about what everybody lost in regards to the $150 million deal, what each person lost individually, what they stood to gain. And she said she's going to talk a little bit about the finances. So it seems like the rest of the week, people are going to be really focused in on the finances. And that part makes me sad, because it's not really pointing at Charlie still, but it is stuff that it seems like people are saying was happening while he was alive. And I am going to be as charitable as possible to Charlie always. That you're never going to, I don't care what the developments are in the next few weeks. I'm never turning on Charlie and being like, he was terrible. That's not happening from me. So don't expect that, please. Even if you turn that way, don't expect me to just agree with you. But maybe something like that happened and he didn't know. Maybe that's why he wanted to do the Doge style audit. Maybe that's why he was trying to put that in place. And no, it wasn't a regular thing like Candace said. It was actually very needed because he didn't understand where money was coming from and where money was going. Two things that he didn't understand, and he really wanted to understand what was happening. This is such a wild case of just state actors and inner circle acting weird, and now financials are coming up and all this different stuff. It's really, really wild. He was in deep. Powerful man, in so deep. You really have to have a tight circle around you. You really, like for me, and I've said this before, I'm open to new friends and I will have more employees as time goes on. But man, the friends that I have, it's just 30 years, 20 years since kindergarten, met in elementary school. Like that's it. That's what I got. And there's like 5 of them. That's it. So if this goes anywhere beyond what it is, it's like I'm pulling in those 5 and we're staying tight, because you got to take stuff like this as a lesson, honestly. Now let's move on to what Tim had to say about Charlie and everything going on. Listen to this.
I'm looking at the violence at Turning Point USA, and I'm looking at Turning Point and Candace, and it is true. Someone at Turning Point was leaking stuff to her, like for what reason? And I'm wondering what Turning Point is doing.
Like for what reason? Because they feel like
I don't hold
going
Turning
on,
Point
possibly,
responsible for what Candace is doing. But I'm just like looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, okay, let me put it like this for all you guys. I don't care if Candace is right or wrong, or Turning Point, or and anybody else in the drama is right or wrong. That's fine. People are allowed to do whatever they want. They're allowed to talk about whatever they want. The issue is that at the end of August, where were we as a country? We were here doing our shows, talking news and politics, of course, and preparing for the end of the year special, as we often do. There was a plan, there was a path, and for me, both personally and professionally, things were looking up. The show and everything here, we're growing, we're bringing on good people, we're expanding. We've got, coffee sales are going up, and memberships and board sales and organization. Skate night events we've been doing have been massively successful, so business is good. And politically, we're riding a wave, baby. Trump won. Let's keep going. Don't get me wrong, there were terror attacks throughout the year, but Trump was on track. I texted Charlie Kirk, and I asked him, just following up on the plan for the end of the year, because Timcast IRL does Turning Point's Amfest the past 3 years. It's an amazing experience, and it's an honor and a privilege to be there. And Charlie texted me back, look at me, revealing our texts, saying, let me circle back to the team and get you the details. We'll get it going. Because I said, hey, let's get it set up so we can, set everything up in advance. I've got some other PR opportunities and stuff in the area. And a week after that, they killed him. And so I'll tell you what I'm saying, what I'm feeling. That moment before Charlie was murdered, there was a path that we were on that was promising. Now, 2 months later, the narrative has turned into conspiracy drama about Charlie Kirk. If Turning Point was involved in it, references to Jewish donors pulling out and how Erika knew everything. And that's the narrative the #1 podcast has given us. Candace can talk about whatever she wants. Same thing with Tucker Carlson. I will defend. No one has an obligation to hold my views or do what I want them to do. I'm not saying Candace should or should not do anything. My point is the audience effect of what I'm seeing. It felt like we were focused. Trump needed to win. The agenda needed to continue. Now, what do we have? Well, half the people are tweeting about the The other half are tweeting about how Turning Point killed Charlie. The #1 podcast is just basically covering the true crime aspect of an assassination of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And I'm just like, focus is gone. Was Charlie really holding all of this together?
Remember what Candace said. They viewed Charlie as a product. They viewed him as a product. Well, what does that sound like Tim is focused on there? Well, after he died and, they're burying him, I'm noticing, where's the focus? I mean, can we get back on track here, guys? And it goes right back to that tweet that Candace showed. Like she's the only one who's truly devastated. Not saying Tim's involved in anything. I'm not saying that. But just look at the way people act towards this happening. Like, you think younger people don't have an attention span. Look at this. Tim's just like, what's going on? And he's calling it true crime. He's not calling it she is trying to figure out what really happened, if there was some kind of bad actors afoot that are different than the official narrative. That's what's happening. But instead, he's like, true crime drama. That's all this is. What? Candace is 1,000,000% right. They're looking at Charlie like a product. And when you take that position of just true crime, and I guess I'll get back to what he's saying. When you look at that position of calling it true crime, it's astonishing to me. And I try to be charitable, but it seems so, bad, odd, that people can't connect JFK to what happened to Charlie. They know that JFK is this huge, monumental thing that was just, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. They know that. But for some reason, they can't connect that same astonishment to Charlie Kirk. They just think it's like, where's our focus? Can we just get back to, I thought we were focused. What's going on? People are just tweeting about other things. We have midterms coming up. That's where the focus should be. Come together, guys. There's votes to be had. Oh, man. Tell me you're not a political entity. Tell me you're a political entity without
Seriously.
telling me you're a political entity.
And focus is gone. And it seems like H-1Bs with Trump, Chinese visas. And I'm just sitting here being like, wow, someone took a sledgehammer to the right coalition and splattered it. And like goop sprang in every direction. We are all now completely dejected and ripped apart.
I don't even want to. I didn't even listen past this point, honestly. But it's just, and there's only like 30 seconds left. He's not going to redeem himself in those 30 seconds. He's not going to be like, and I'm terrified and I cried when Charlie Kirk died. He's not going to say anything like that. So they're looking at, it's 100. I had to do this when the president was campaigning. I had to kind of break down how people were looking at him, how people were treating him, what they were saying, the falsehoods. And I have to do the same thing with Candace. You're sitting back calling what she's doing true crime when you know it's an investigation. You can't even, there's something there where and I think what he's trying to do, he's trying to ride the fence and be like, guys, I don't care either way and I'll fight for free speech and this is just true crime nonsense. And he's trying to ride the fence in this whole thing and be like, let's just come together. But for you to say that it's true crime, rather than say it's an investigation, is just nonsense. He's dialed in. He's a dialed in guy. For sure. Spends time reading, spends time online. He really hones in on things. He has to. And he has people around him doing it as well. He has to be hearing the alternative narratives to this whole thing. And for you to ignore all that and just be like, where's the focus? Candace is exactly right. She said it perfectly. They looked at him like a product. That product was malfunctioning. Now that product's gone. Can we please move on? AmFest. Is this AmFest still going on? Who will we have to speak? Who can we have replace Charlie? That's not even Turning Point. That's the people around Turning Point talking. How do we get back that momentum? You know, I want to see my guy in there. Come on. And then they get real mad when Candace is like, I'm not even going to vote. I'm not doing it. Not doing it. I got to figure out what happened. Oh, she's just in it for clicks. Oh, this is just clicks. What a crazy person. It's wild. It's wild to see. Man, when you see it, you just can't unsee it. I spent way too much time dissecting, big media for me not to see all the same things happening now with the independent media. That time is done. There's no more independent media. I'm independent. I don't even know how to get a sponsor. I have a bunch of emails from people who claim that they're sponsors. I don't even know how to do it. I don't even know how to move forward. I'm truly independent. Okay? If I could show you this room, you'd understand. It's just, but when you start seeing the studios and you start seeing the multiple camera angles and you start seeing all that different stuff, you can be sure. Like, I look at Ian and I'm like, oh, okay, Ian's independent. I look at Nick even. I'm like, Nick's independent, right? Like, when you start seeing too much building up and you're like, there's like a team of 10 people there. You could say you're independent if you want, because that's what sells. I get it. But these people aren't independent anymore. These people are attached. You know what I mean? These people are attached. That's like Charlie being like, we're independent. It's like that giant entity, that 9-figure entity that talks to the president when they want, has the vice president's ear, has multiple Congress people, and that's an independent. Come on. It's getting ridiculous. I was just thinking I'm going to go to Patreon now and I'm going to give my actual thoughts, but I don't know how much more actual it can get than that, but we'll see what we pull up. Everything's tinfoil over there. Anyways, guys, I'm out of here.